Hey guys, welcome to the second part of the eye contact video series. In the first part, we looked at the most common questions that each of us face in our daily lives related to eye contact. Questions like why do we avoid eye contact? Why do we feel awkward while making eye contact? And then we looked at tips and strategies to maintain eye contact. In this part, we will build up on this knowledge and again talk about two things. First, we'll talk about the different situations which may arise in our daily lives and how to fine-tune your eye contact based on those situations. Situations like when you are part of a group or when you're attracted to someone. And next, we'll talk about a scientifically proven method to practice and improve your eye contact in a progressive manner. So let's get started. Have you ever been in a situation when two of you are in a conversation and after some time there's a sudden silence in the conversation? Maybe because both of you are out of topics to talk about. What to do with our eyes in such a situation? It is suggested that you look away or you break eye contact when such a situation arises. If you still persist, if you still maintain eye contact, it might come off as intense or it might further lead to an awkward situation. Now, why does this help? When you look away, both of you get a breather, both of you get some time to think of new topics, both of you get some time to observe the surroundings and maybe start a new topic based on the surroundings. It could be about how crowded the place is or how hot the weather is or how interesting this place is. A bonus tip here is when you look away, do not focus on a specific object or a specific individual. Otherwise, the other person might get a wrong impression that you're not interested in continuing the conversation. What you should do is just look into the horizon, just the way you do when you are processing information or when you are thinking of something. Next situation, when you're speaking in a group setting, it could be a group discussion, it could be a meeting, or it could be a social gathering. What do we do with our eyes in such a situation? It is important to distribute your eye contact evenly. It is important to give attention to each and every member of the group. Why is this helpful? Now, if you distribute eye contact evenly, all the people that are part of the group feel involved in the conversation. They feel acknowledged. Imagine you're talking to three people in front of you. Now, when you start talking, make and maintain eye contact with the first person for a few seconds. Then shift your gaze to the second person, maintain eye contact for a couple of seconds, shift your gaze again to the third person and keep rotating eye contact. Now, if you do not distribute eye contact evenly, what might happen is people who are part of the group but are not being acknowledged by you might start feeling left out of the conversation. And when two or more people feel left out of the conversation, there may be a chance that they start parallel conversations. This personally happens with me. So sometimes when I'm talking in a group, I have a tendency to focus on one individual. And then after a few seconds, other people who are part of the group start having parallel conversations and ultimately we start raising our voice and it becomes a fish market, which is what we want to avoid. So remember, distribute your eye contact evenly to each and every person that's part of the group. Now, how does this change when we talk about a professional setting? Now, in a professional setting, apart from distributing your eye contact evenly with everyone in the group, ensure that you make and maintain eye contact with the leader or the boss or the supervisor that's present in the group. Now, when you talk about a professional setting, the dynamics of the group changes. There are people who are new, you can call them as low status individuals, people who have just joined the organization. Then there are people who are subordinate to you. Then the people who are equal status or people who are your colleagues. Then come the leaders, the bosses and the supervisors. Now, usually people who are low status individuals or people who are low in confidence have difficulty in maintaining eye contact with high status individuals. But on the other hand, high status individuals have no problem maintaining eye contact with other high status individuals. Now, what does this mean? It means if you make and maintain eye contact with the leaders of the group, it shows that you are highly confident. It shows that you're ready to take on the next role and they start taking you seriously. So remember, apart from distributing your eye contact evenly with everyone, ensure that you do make and maintain eye contact with the supervisors, with the bosses that are present in the professional group. Next situation, and this is a very interesting one. What to do with your eyes when you want to convey attraction? Maybe when you are on a probable date. Now, whenever you want to convey attraction, Remember to maintain eye contact even when neither of you are talking. This is completely opposite to the first situation when we said that when there's a silence in the conversation, look away. But here, when you want to convey attraction, maintain eye contact even when there is a silence in the conversation. This does not mean that you stare at the person. You have to have a relaxed face, a subtle smile, and a gentle eye contact which conveys that warmth and attraction. You don't have to constantly maintain that eye contact. You can take breaks. You can look for a couple of seconds, then you can look away, and then again you can resume eye contact, and then you can continue doing this all the while when none of you are talking. Now the last situation, what to do with your eyes when there is a conflict. A conflict can have two results. One, it can further aggravate, it can get into even a bigger conflict, or that conflict can be resolved. Now, if you want that conflict to be resolved, maybe because that person is important to you, or because that relationship is important to you, or just because you are at fault. Now, when you want to resolve a conflict and when the other person is extremely angry, remember to avoid eye contact and look down at the floor. Now, why does this work? Avoiding eye contact is a submissive gesture. So when you don't make eye contact, when you look down, it conveys to the other person that you are harmless. You don't want to attack the person. You are ready to accept, or you are ready to listen to the person. But if you don't want to resolve the conflict, maybe because you are not at fault and you want to stand by your side, you want to stand by your point, then don't break eye contact. Maintain that constant eye contact and try to tell them that you mean what you're saying. We've now covered most of the common situations that arise in our daily life. Let us talk about the scientifically proven method to improve your eye contact. This method is called exposure therapy. It focuses on building up the individual's confidence towards a feared situation by exposing them to a less frightening situation. Think of it as taking baby steps towards conquering your larger fear. For example, if your friend is scared of a lizard, if you want to reduce this fear towards lizard, you can use the exposure therapy. What you can do is start with different stages of the frightening situation. First stage could be just asking them to visualize a lizard. Next stage could be showing them footages, showing them photo or video of a lizard and getting them slightly comfortable with that image. Next, expose them to the lizard in person but inside a cage so they still feel safe. And the last stage could be expose them to the lizard in person but outside the cage. So essentially what we are doing is we are progressively moving towards conquering that larger fear. Now when we relate this to eye contact, there could be 3 levels or 3 stages that you can follow. The first stage is talk to yourself in the mirror. I know other people might call you crazy, but believe me, this really works. What you have to do is act as if you're engaging in a real conversation, maybe with a family member or with a close friend, and try to maintain eye contact all the while when you're having this conversation. Now, when you're practicing this, try to observe and analyze your facial expressions and your gestures and try to note down specific movements which might either make the other person uncomfortable or which might make you appear as less confident. Let me give my personal example. When I started practicing this, I started observing a peculiar movement or a habit that I used to do. Whenever I used to get scared or anxious, I would and always, frequently keep touching my spectacle or adjusting my spectacles. Now, when I understood this behavior, I consciously worked on it and now I don't do it anymore. So this is how effective talking to yourself in the mirror actually is. The second stage is to practice with a close family member or a friend, people who don't judge you or people who you feel comfortable with. Practice all the tips and strategies that we spoke about in the first video and try to understand which of them come naturally to you. Ask them to give you feedback on the time for which you are able to maintain eye contact, the number of times you broke eye contact, or how does your overall body movement appear to your friend. When you take constant feedback, this will further lead to improvement. Now the final stage, stage 3, talking to strangers, practice talking to strangers. Now I understand this is easier said than done. Even nowadays, sometimes I feel anxious talking to strangers, but then there is a hack around it. We have to change our mindset. Don't think of it as we are trying to make eye contact. Shift your mindset to trying to analyze and observe the features of the individual's eye. What you have to do is take one eye at a time and try to observe the feature of the eyes. like the shape of the eyes, the color of the eyes, the size of the pupil, and so on. Then shift your gaze to the second eye and do the same. It would actually feel like you're making eye contact, but essentially what you're doing is you're just trying to observe the individual's features. The second important thing that you can do is be genuinely interested in the conversation. If you stop consciously thinking that you have to make eye contact and just focus your attention and be genuinely interested in the conversation, eye contact will come naturally to you. It will come unconsciously. So next time when you're having a conversation, try to focus on the conversation and be more attentive and interested. Eye contact will then just come naturally to you. We have now come to the end of this video and end of the eye contact video series. If you found these videos helpful and if you found this video insightful, please don't forget to like and share this video. Please support us by subscribing to the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to be notified about new uploads. Thank you.